This map shows Canada, but what it really shows is that Canada is not a single geographic idea. It is a stack of regions shaped by latitude, oceans, winds, and deep time. Political borders barely matter here. Climate and landforms do the real organizing. If you want to understand why people live where they do in Canada and why vast areas remain lightly populated, this map gives you the answer immediately. Latitude first. Why North dominates the story? Let's start by looking at how much of this map is labeled Arctic or subarctic. As you can see here, Canada extends farther north than most countries people compare it to. Latitude alone defines temperature, sunlight, and season length. This is why climate zones here stretch horizontally across the map instead of radiating from the cities. In Canada, moving north often matters more than moving east or west. The Arctic, land beyond settlement. Zooming to the top of the map, into the Arctic region along the Arctic Ocean. This is a place defined less by land than by ice, water, and extreme seasonality. The ground remains frozen for much of the year. Infrastructure is expensive, fragile, and difficult to maintain. This is not empty land, it is constrained land. The Arctic is shaped by limits on agriculture, construction, and transportation. Those limits explain why population density here remains extremely low despite the vast area. Western subarctic rivers, not roads. Move south into the western subarctic. Moving south into the western subarctic here now, as you can see. This region covers an enormous interior zone where winter dominates the calendar. Notice how rivers define movement more than highways. For much of history, frozen rivers acted as winter roads, while thawed rivers became summer transport corridors. This region is rich in resources, but extracting them requires overcoming distance and climate simultaneously. That dual challenge shapes settlement patterns that are sparse and highly strategic. Eastern subarctic, water as climate modifier. Now let's shift east towards the eastern subarctic, wrapping around Hudson Bay. Hudson Bay is critical. It behaves like an inland sea, moderating temperatures and influencing weather patterns across a massive area. Compared to the western side, this region receives different precipitation and wind patterns. The result is subtle but important differences in vegetation, wildlife, and habitability. Large bodies of water soften extremes, even this far north. The plateau, where mountains rewrite climate. Let's move west again into the plateau region. This is not coastal rainforest and not flat prairie. It is elevated land trapped between mountain regions. Elevation lowers temperatures, rain shadow reduce precipitation. The result is a climate that feels drier and harsher than its latitude would suggest. This explains why agriculture here is limited and why settlement clusters tightly around valleys rather than spreading evenly. Terrain matters as much as latitude here. The northwest coast, Canada's climatic exception. Now let's zoom to the northwest coast along the Pacific Ocean. This region breaks expectations. Despite its northern latitude, it experiences relatively mild temperatures and heavy rainfall. The reason is ocean influence. Warm currents and prevailing winds deliver moisture and moderate cold. This creates dense forests and supports year round ports. This is one of the few places in Canada where climate actively invites settlement rather than resisting it. The Great Plains, flat land, harsh exposure. Shift, shifting east into the Great Plains. Here the land opens up. Flat terrain allows agriculture but also exposes the region to extreme weather. With few natural barriers, cold air moves freely south and hot air moves freely north. This creates dramatic seasonal swings. Farming is possible but risky. Settlement here depends on scale, technology, and infrastructure rather than natural protection. The Great Plains are productive but unforgiving. Northeastern woodlands, balance and density. Moving into the northeastern woodlands, this region combines moderate climate, fertile soil, and navigable waterways. Forests offer resources, rivers offer transport, winters are cold but manageable. This balance explains why population density increases sharply here compared to most other regions on the map. This is one of the few zones where geography consistently supports long term urban growth. Oceans as invisible architects. Now let's zoom out and notice the label Atlantic Ocean to the east and the Pacific Ocean to the west. Canada's climate is pulled in opposite directions by these oceans. Moist air from the Atlantic shapes the east, Pacific systems dominate the west, the interior is caught between them. The result is a country where coastal regions feel like different worlds while the interior absorbs the extremes. Why these regions matter more than borders. This map explains why national averages often fail in Canada. Temperature, precipitation, agriculture, and infrastructure challenges vary drastically by the region. Policies that work in one zone may fail completely in another. These climate regions are more predictive of daily life than provincial borders. A country built on constraint. Canada is often described as vast. This map shows why vastness is selective. Most of the land imposes limits, a smaller portion offers balance, an even smaller portion offers comfort. Understanding Canada means understanding where geography cooperates and where it refuses to. This map does not just show regions, it shows where the land allows permanence. Thank you for watching, and if you want a custom map to be developed just like this one, this map was developed by Maps&Locations.com, and if you want a custom map developed just like this one for your business or personal needs, reach out to Maps&Locations.com and we'll help you craft the perfect one as per your needs and desires. Thank you for watching again and look out for the next one. Oh, also do subscribe and like this video. Thank you.